Over the years, I've used a stack of high-end wireless video transmission systems. You name it, I've used it. And for most part, they're great until you look at the price tag. Then, if you start looking for a more affordable option, only one stands out, and that's the Shimbol TP MAX. If you're looking for untethered freedom from your camera as either a DP or another department from a stationary monitor, eventually you'll start researching wireless video transmitters. This is something that every filmmaker should have in their kit bag, and it shouldn't be a service that you rely on from camera department. These are inexpensive at just $120 and can transmit signals well enough for any department to move freely around on set. And most camera departments will accommodate you with a video feed to transmit without much fuss. Now, before we talk about the TP MAX, I'll just say this quickly and move on. This is my spare monitor I have. It's about 10 years old and is 7 inches in size. But really, this could be anything, even an iPad. But for this it's perfect because of its age, cheap use price, and all of the monitoring functions it provides me as a DP. If I was a director or an art department, I may want to record takes for continuity purposes or for actor performance notes, so I don't have to rely on camera department. If that was the use case, I would choose either the Shimbol Memory 1 or use a Ninja 5 to keep the cost down. The reasons I bought the Shimbol TP MAX is pretty simple. It's super budget friendly, and my Holyland Pyro S has been having some issues in some French locations with thicker stone walls. But I can hear you asking, if budget was the primary reason you bought the TP MAX, why didn't you just buy the TP Mini instead? Well, no offense to Shimbol, but the Mini is gaudy and looks like a toy. This has a much more professional look to it, is unobtrusive, and is properly labeled. The internals are also different, as the TP MAX has almost double the range at 1,000 feet. But other than these points, on paper, it would be pretty hard to tell them apart. Both are made of aluminium with a latency of 0.7 seconds. So if you need to save money, buy the Mini. Setting up the Max takes very little time. You just plug it in, turn it on, and it will auto sync. Now, over the last couple of months while I've been writing this review and testing it professionally, I haven't had a single issue. Not one. It just works. Now, to be clear, the latency on the Max is not suitable for professional level focus pulling, but if you're in a pinch, you could get away with it depending on the complexity of the shot. Really, for me, the Max is just being used as a reference monitor, and the way that I have my image pipeline is from the camera to my Shimbol M5. You could switch this to improve transmission latency, but I wouldn't recommend that as a camera op. The director can work with latency, I can't. Let me show you how good this is compared to the much more expensive Holyland Pyro S. A fairly standard scenario would be moving the camera from an interior to an exterior. A lot of transmission systems struggle to do this, especially when the locations are made from thick stone or have a lot of metal beams like my house, or transmitting outdoors if they lose line of sight. In all of my testing, the Max clearly outperforms the Pyro S in all scenarios. To date, I'm very impressed with the Max's performance. It never loses signal unless I'm outside of its range, and that's because it auto-hops frequencies to acquire the strongest signal pathway. So the range is really, really good. If there ever is a problem, this will appear on the screen showing you where the break in the signal chain is so that it can be fixed. In this instance, the Max is telling me that there is an issue with the HDMI cable to the TX unit and between the transmitter and the receiver. That's because I have the transmitter switched off. Now, if I turn it back on, you'll see that a tick appears showing the first of the two issues is fixed, and if I plug the signal in from the camera, the image appears immediately. Now, another bonus of this system is that the Max will also transmit audio with compatible monitors, which is great for directors. There is a considerable delay, but at least you have this as an option to provide. As for the quality of the video signal, it does have to compress the video to send it, so you may see some color banding in the skies or darker regions of your image. But look, that's just par for the course with budget wireless video systems. The image will never be 100% accurate. That said, depending on your client, the quality of the video could be acceptable for performance, playback, live streams that require remote cameras that can't be hardwired, people that shoot events, weddings, really everything. But this is something that you will need to test for yourself. What I can say is this: with a good sized battery, the TP MAX can run all day, but it will depend on the level of interference, distance to the receivers, and ambient temperatures. For extended run times, you can power the TP MAX with a DTAP to NPF dummy battery adapter or via the USB-C port. As I use V-Lock batteries to power the Marshall monitor, the D-Tap cable is the simplest and most cost-effective option which provides the longest run times for me. Using the TP MAX in this configuration over the last couple of months really has been a pleasure, and it's made my job easier and my clients happier. It's really helped me light gafferless productions because I can leave the camera, tweak the lights and immediately see the result. So it has proved itself to be a rock-solid budget-friendly wireless system that works for me.
Swipe up, tag your friends, like and subscribe, comment below. If I make this follow, don't let this flop, wait till the